Ken, welcome to Colombia again. It's a pleasure to have you back in our conference and back at Savannah. You're part of the family, so we really appreciate that. Let me ask you a couple of questions, drawing from your conference, which, by the way, was very interesting. The first question, you drew on the concept of goal setting. And you mentioned two important facts. One, that the research was showing that teachers are yet unprepared to tackle the challenges. And two, that there are many opportunities to deal with goal setting in the classroom. Can you please elaborate?
Okay, that's a fantastic question because they seem to be the opposite from each other. And yes, so teachers do have difficulty. Every textbook, pretty well, almost every unit begins with a set of goals, or objectives for what's to be learned during the unit. But teachers, once they read through those, they don't continue to think about them as they go through the unit. They don't check in with the students to say, have you done this? Are you getting this? And revisiting the goals. So they're not really embedding them into the lessons in any way. And then at the very end of the unit, usually there's a review page. And then it has the goals again. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And the students, it's too late then. It's too late. So teachers need to continuously revisit the goals and modify the goals. A big part of what I had to say today was they should continue to look at the goals and they should personalize them, they should localize them. You want to ask, how are these goals important to you in your life? What does it mean to you? And why do you think this is important in Colombia? Like, how would you use this language in Colombia? How are you going to use it? So what goal would you have there?
Thank you very much. And this all, as Ken just mentioned, takes you to personalized learning opportunities and leading them to autonomous and self-regulated behaviors.
Yes.
Correct.
And the second part of your question was really to ask about, you said there are many opportunities to put them in. It's partly that, teachers work too hard. I always talk about the lazy teacher principle, lazy teacher. We should be a little lazier and we should, instead of just thinking of goals for students, we should be asking them, say, what are your goals? And asking them to try to develop their own, build responsibility. We should also look at something like a job and say, what goals do you think would be necessary to get you to that job or to get you to that degree or to get you to anything else that you really want to do, even marriage. What's your goal? How are you going to get there?
That's good.
Yeah, so
that's good. That was a very good point. The key thing then, as I capture from your talk, it's to scaffold, to try to get to the point to scaffold the learners in such a way they build up these developmental capacities.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Ken just drew on another concept, and it's the analysis of Colombian context. And you are very well versed because you know our context and you have visited us for a long time. What are still some of the challenges? And I know that you also do consultancy, you visit schools regularly, you are very active in conferences and in events. What are some of the challenges that you perceive and some of the things that you consider we should still drive for and work harder to achieve essential results with language teachers who are in the way of building a strong professional development?
Yes, absolutely. There's so many different things, and it's going to be different for different teachers. Each teacher faces, his or her own challenges with different types of students. But I would say that some of the biggest ones are, we have to start off with motivation.
Yes.
So many students, they're just not motivated to learn. They're saying, why are we learning English? Or they're learning English because they have to. They have to get a mark just to pass their exams, and they say, I'm never going to use English when I graduate. But of course we don't know that. All of us go through so many different jobs these days, and in the future we'll continue to go through different jobs. So you can't really anticipate. It's better to learn English now and be prepared for more opportunities. So motivation is a very, very big one, I would say, starting off with that. The other one, which is related to that, is responsibility. So shifting responsibility back to the students over and over again. And teachers, we tend to think that we're the center of information. We have the knowledge, the textbook has the knowledge, and we don't take the time to push it back on the students and say, what do you think? What do you know? And hey, how about you teach this class?
Yes, decentralization is one of the keywords. Well, this is a very short video clip or a video interview. Thank you very much for joining us, and I know it's not the first and it will not be the last time.
Thank you
very much, and thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Liliana.